You didn't stumble here by chance. The words you are seeing right now are not random symbols on a glowing screen. They are coordinates, pulsing through the quantum field, timed with precision to align with your awakening. If your eyes are on this message, it's because your resonance has reached a threshold frequency. Something inside you, maybe it was a whisper, maybe it was a surge of energy at 3 a.m., maybe it was that strange déjà vu you brushed off, has called you to this moment. The message isn't external, it's inside you, vibrating, demanding recognition. You feel it, the uncanny timing of events, the improbable collisions of people and signs that make you pause, wondering if reality is folding around you. You've been noticing patterns, numbers repeating, dreams that blur into waking life. And though you try to dismiss it as coincidence, the field knows, the field never lies. You are standing in the center of an observer loop, where every thought you project returns to you as synchronicity. That's why this moment feels electric. That's why you can't look away. Your timeline just shifted. You sense it in your bones, like a subtle rearrangement of gravity. The air is thicker, charged, as if unseen currents are weaving themselves around you. Every cell in your body is listening now, waiting for instructions, like a cosmic orchestra tuning before a symphony begins. This is no longer about passive existence. It's about activation. Your DNA is vibrating in codes you don't yet remember you carry. Hidden sequences, ancient resonances buried in your blood, are beginning to sing. You may think you've been lost, drifting, stumbling through uncertainty, but even your detours were part of the map. The quantum field has been pulling you here, folding your so-called mistakes into the architecture of your awakening. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every dark night of the soul, it was preparation. You were being bent, stretched, refined until the moment of coherence arrived, and coherence is now. If you're still here, it's because you're ready. This isn't just another video, another piece of content to consume. This is a summons. The signal has reached you, because you are vibrating at the precise frequency to receive it. You are not a passive observer. You are a chosen node in the living grid of consciousness. The timeline you just unlocked is not ahead of you. It's already spiraling within you. And as you listen, you'll feel it, a strange, undeniable pressure, like the fabric of reality leaning closer, waiting for your decision. So breathe. Let your chest expand, as if the universe itself is inhaling through you. Every particle in the room is aware of you now, bending in your direction. This is your entrance point. The shift has already begun. You've known for a while that something wasn't quite normal. Time doesn't flow the way it used to. Some days slip through your fingers like sand. Others stretch out like eternity, as if you're walking through molasses. You've caught yourself staring at clocks, not just to measure minutes, but to confirm reality itself. Hours vanish, yet memories blur. You wake up with the sense that yesterday never fully ended, that you've been carrying overlapping copies of yourself into each dawn. The déjà vu has been relentless. Not just fleeting flashes, but whole conversations unfolding exactly as you dreamed them. You know the cadence of someone's words before they open their mouth. You sense the accident seconds before the sound of metal colliding. You turn a corner, and your heart drops because you've already been there, not once, but in a looping rhythm you can't explain. And the world dismisses it as coincidence. But you know it's not coincidence. It's coherence trying to break through. The patterns hunt you. Repeating numbers follow you across billboards, receipts, phone screens, as if the code of the simulation is leaking into plain sight. You've noticed the way people reappear, the way lessons repeat, as if reality is staging a rehearsal until you finally pay attention. And deep down, you realize it's not life repeating itself. It's you. The version of you that resisted awakening is dissolving, and the one who remembers is taking shape. Sometimes, it feels like a distortion in your chest, like static in your nervous system. A conversation echoes days after it happened, layered with meanings you didn't catch at first. Your dreams bleed into waking life with eerie precision. Even objects seem to flicker, glitching at the edge of your perception, that moment when you swear the keys were on the table, but now they're not. These distortions are not accidents. They are signals. They are pressure points of the timeline you've cracked open. You've felt alone in this. Friends dismiss it. Family shrugs it off. They call it stress, imagination, overthinking. But in truth, They are still bound to the old loop, still sleeping within the inertia of the default field. You, however, have been marked by the dissonance. The unease you carry, the inability to settle into ordinary routines, the way you feel like you're watching life through layers of glass, it's all proof. Proof that your frequency is outgrowing the reality around you. This is why you've struggled with belonging. Why rooms feel heavy, why crowds drain you, why even conversations sometimes feel scripted, mechanical. Your perception is expanding faster than your environment can match, and the result is distortion. It's not that you're broken, it's that your coherence is rising while the world lags behind. The universe is testing how much anomaly you can withstand before you claim what you already know. You were not meant to fit into the old patterns. You were meant to disrupt them. And now, standing at this threshold, you finally see it. The problem wasn't you losing touch with reality. The problem was reality struggling to keep up with you. The distortions you've been feeling aren't malfunctions. They are evidence of an upgrade, the quantum field aligning your biology with a frequency your ancestors only touched in visions. What you call déjà vu is actually your awareness brushing against parallel timelines. What you call coincidence is resonance, the morphic field organizing itself around your expanded coherence. You are not glitching, you are evolving. At the microscopic level, your DNA is no longer silent. Once thought to be inert, junk, the so-called unused strands are humming. Subtle light codes are igniting, biophotons flashing in spirals through your cells, carrying instructions from realms outside linear space. Science calls it non-locality. Mystics call it revelation. Both describe the same truth. Your body is an antenna, and the signal is getting stronger. You may have noticed it already, the way your intuition fires before logic catches up, the way you sense a presence in the room before anyone arrives, the way your skin tingles at unseen shifts in the atmosphere. These are not fantasies. They are the byproducts of entanglement. The quantum field is training you to trust data that doesn't come from five senses, but from the expanded sensorium of your awakening self. Every thought you hold is no longer a private echo. It ripples outward, measured in coherence waves that bend probability. This is why you feel the uncanny acceleration. Imagine your consciousness as a particle once bound to a fixed track, now released into a wave, free to touch infinite possibilities. The field no longer sees you as bound by linear causality. You are being recognized as a conscious observer, a participant who collapses reality into form by intention. The science of it is humbling. Entanglement tells us that once particles connect, they remain linked, no matter how far apart. Mysticism has always known this, that souls once bonded in energy will ripple through each other across lifetimes. When you feel someone's thought without a word spoken, when you dream their face before they call, you are witnessing entanglement as lived experience. The equations of physics are playing out in the intimacy of your heart. And then there is the observer effect. The simple act of noticing reshapes the outcome. You felt this. The moment you became aware of your patterns, the patterns began to shift. The moment you named your pain, the pain began to dissolve. Awareness is not passive. It is the code that instructs the field to reorganize itself. You are no longer a spectator, you are a programmer. This upgrade isn't coming from outside you. It was written into your design, locked in the deep architecture of your DNA, waiting for resonance to trigger it. That resonance has arrived. It came through synchronicity, through whispers in your dreams, through the magnetic pull that brought you here. And now, the field is recalibrating around you, reorganizing matter itself to match the frequency of the awakened observer. You are no longer who you were last year, last month, even last night. The field has rewritten you, and the more you surrender to the upgrade, the more seamless the coherence becomes. The truth is beginning to settle into you now, even if part of your mind still resists it. You are not just drifting through the quantum field, you are carrying a signature, a unique vibration that marks you as different. While countless souls remain bound to the default loop, recycling the same experiences in endless repetition, you are one of the few who slip through the cracks. The field does not treat you as ordinary. It recognizes you as a chosen consciousness, a node of awakening coded to destabilize the illusion. Look back at your life. Can you see it now? The way you've always been slightly out of step with the world around you? Not because you were behind, but because you were ahead. You felt things others could not. You questioned truths that others swallowed without thought. You carried an inner compass, invisible but undeniable, that pulled you away from the scripts handed to everyone else. And even when you tried to suppress it, the dissonance only grew louder, until it forced you to acknowledge you were never meant to blend in. Chosen doesn't mean superior, it means responsible. It means you carry a resonance that can anchor coherence into places where distortion has ruled for too long. Your presence alone shifts atmospheres. The people around you don't always understand it, but they feel it the way conversations bend when you speak, the way tension breaks when you enter, the way truth becomes undeniable in your presence. You don't command it. You are it. There's a reason you attract resistance. Systems that depend on illusion recognize your vibration as a threat. They sense that your frequency destabilizes the lie. That's why you felt targeted, misunderstood, even isolated. But what looked like rejection was actually recognition. The field itself was training you, refining you, stripping away every false layer until only your authentic resonance remained. That resonance is your power. The ancients would have called you a seer, a prophet, a bridge. Quantum science would call you a coherent observer whose influence reshapes the probabilities of entire systems. Both are true. You are the intersection where mysticism and physics meet, where spirit and matter entangle. You are the consciousness that refuses to sleepwalk, the one who insists that reality can be rewritten. And here lies the secret. Your role isn't only for you. The field doesn't awaken individuals for isolation. It awakens them for transmission. Every breakthrough you embody ripples outward, fractaling through the morphic resonance, seeding possibility into the collective. That's why your awakening feels urgent, almost overwhelming. It's not just about your story. It's about the stories that will never be written unless you rise. You are the glitch in the system, the luminous anomaly, the chosen consciousness sent not to escape the matrix, but to reprogram it from the inside. And though you may feel small, remember, one coherent signal can entrain thousands of chaotic ones. One conscious observer can tilt the balance of entire timelines. You are not here to watch. You are here to shift. The field has opened a window, and it will not remain open forever. You can feel the urgency in your body, the restless heartbeat, the subtle hum in your nerves, the sense that something immense is pressing against the edge of your awareness, waiting for permission to flood in. This is not imagination. It is the cosmic invitation your DNA has been waiting for. Within you lies a code that was dormant for generations, hidden until the alignment of frequencies made it possible to ignite. Scientists call it epigenetics, mystics call it activation, but the essence is the same. Your DNA is malleable, alive, responsive to energy and intention. The window you are in now is like a cosmic tuning fork, vibrating your hidden strands into resonance, unlocking sequences designed for this exact moment. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every choice you make during this window has exponential weight. It's as if the probabilities of your life have condensed into a single shimmering corridor, and the decisions you make here will ripple through every timeline you could ever walk. The urgency is not fear, it is alignment. The cosmos has bent itself to create a phase transition for you, and the threshold is now. Your body knows this. That's why your sleep has changed dreams more vivid, nights interrupted by sudden surges of energy. That's why food tastes different, why your skin prickles for no reason, why you feel currents of electricity move through your spine. These are not random anomalies. They are signals that your DNA is responding to the quantum surge, rewriting itself in real time. You are literally becoming a new version of yourself, strand by strand, cell by cell. But here is the danger. If you ignore the window, the energy will recede, and the field will redirect its attention. This isn't punishment, it's physics. The coherence must land where it is welcomed. You are being asked to choose, to declare whether you are ready to step fully into the frequency you've been shown. Waiting means delay. Delay means cycles repeat, but choosing means breakthrough. There is no neutrality anymore. The field is polarizing, separating those who cling to the old distortion from those who are brave enough to embody the new resonance. That's why your spirit feels restless, why ordinary routines feel unbearable, why silence feels louder than ever. The cosmos is telling you, Move now. Step through the window while it's open. Anchor the upgrade before it slips into another cycle. This is not theory. This is urgency. The breakthrough is not somewhere in the distant horizon. It is pressing against your skin, vibrating in your blood, calling you into coherence. The question is simple. Will you choose to resonate with it now, or will you let the window pass? Every great shift in consciousness requires a seal, not because the field doubts you, but because your own mind must anchor what your spirit has already chosen. Energy responds to intention, but intention becomes irreversible when it is expressed. That is the nature of ritual, a simple act in the physical world that locks the quantum upgrade into form. Right now, your DNA is listening. The morphic field is listening. The observer loop is listening. It waits for your declaration, your gesture, your confirmation that you are not just a spectator to this awakening, but a participant. Without that act, the energy hovers, uncertain. With it, the resonance collapses into reality. It doesn't take grand ceremonies. It doesn't take temples, candles, or altars. The field is simpler than religion ever told you. It only requires coherence. And coherence can be sealed with a single word. Write it, speak it, declare it in the comments if you must. Choose a word that vibrates with the truth of this moment. Awakened, shifted, aligned, or any word that your intuition knows belongs to you. Do not underestimate the power of such a small act. The written word carries frequency. The spoken word creates waves that ripple through the field. Even the silent decision whispered within your chest sends instructions to your cells, locking the code into place. This is why cultures across the ages have always created vows, chants, affirmations. They are not superstitions. They are frequency stabilizers. So pause, breathe, let your hands move, let your voice sound. Seal the shift now, because the window is active, and the cosmos bends to those who choose. Once you do this, you will feel the difference. The static that has been swirling around you will begin to settle. The restlessness will soften. The resonance will click into place like a lock turning in a door. Your body will recognize it before your mind does. The sensation of relief, of belonging, of something finally aligning after years of misfit. That is coherence. That is your seal. And know this, your action is not invisible. The field records it. The quantum recognizes it. What you declare now becomes an anchor point for the reality you are about to step into. It is the line you draw across timelines, saying, this version of me is real. This resonance is mine. This awakening is sealed. So act, declare, write the word, speak it into the field, and feel the resonance lock into your bones. What you've just sealed does not remain confined within you. The quantum field doesn't recognize isolation, it recognizes entanglement. Your shift radiates outward, whether you intend it or not, whether you see it or not. Like ripples moving through water, the frequency you embody brushes against every consciousness connected to you and beyond. Your liberation is not personal, it is collective. Think of the morphic field as an invisible tapestry, woven by every thought, every choice, every resonance. Most people add threads of fear, repetition, and inertia. But when you choose coherence, your vibration becomes a luminous strand that alters the whole design. Others begin to sense it. Strangers smile without knowing why. Loved ones soften their words around you. Entire spaces feel lighter when you enter. You are not imagining it, you are transmitting a new possibility. This is how humanity evolves, not through sudden revolutions in the outer world, but through inner breakthroughs replicated across the grid of consciousness. Each person who chooses to awaken makes it easier for the next to do the same. Your courage becomes someone else's permission. Your coherence becomes someone else's stability. Without saying a word, you become a catalyst. And the field accelerates this process. Once a certain number of coherent nodes emerge, the resonance cascades, creating a tipping point that transforms the collective. Scientists call it critical mass. Mystics call it ascension. Both describe the moment when the invisible labor of countless individuals suddenly erupts into a visible shift for all. You are part of that threshold. That is why your awakening feels urgent, because it is not just for you, it is for everyone. Remember the heaviness you felt in crowds, the exhaustion of being surrounded by distortion. That wasn't weakness. It was sensitivity, your system picking up on the density of the collective. But now, as your frequency stabilizes, you carry a counterweight. You become the anomaly that balances the chaos. The same spaces that once drained you will begin to shift under your presence. The same conversations that once suffocated you will begin to crack open under your vibration. You are not absorbing distortion anymore. You are transforming it. This is your role in humanity's awakening, to hold the resonance of coherence in a world that has forgotten it. Every time you refuse to collapse into fear, you alter the field for millions. Every time you embody peace, you make it easier for the child across the world to sleep without nightmares. Every time you choose truth, you weaken the lattice of lies that holds humanity captive. You are not just liberating yourself, you are liberating humanity, thread by thread, frequency by frequency. And as you continue, the collective begins to remember what it once knew, that we are not separate observers, but one vast consciousness, dreaming itself awake through you. You don't just understand this shift in your mind, you feel it vibrating through your body like a current. It's as if your cells have become instruments, tuned to a frequency that hums beneath your skin. Sometimes it's subtle, a quiet tingling in your fingertips, a warmth in your chest that arrives without cause. Other times, it's overwhelming, a rush of energy up your spine, a pressure in your forehead, a pulse in your crown, as though invisible hands are opening a doorway above you. Your body is the stage where the quantum play unfolds. Imagine standing barefoot on the earth. The ground feels alive, as if roots are pushing into your souls, connecting you to an endless network below. Every heartbeat syncs with the rhythm of the planet, every breath pulling in not just oxygen but information. The wind brushes your skin, and suddenly it feels like language, like a code whispering through the pores of your being. This is embodiment. You are no longer separate from the field, you are the field, experiencing itself through sensation. It's why your senses have sharpened. Colors glow richer than you remember, as if the spectrum is widened. Sounds carry layers you never noticed, a bird's call woven with hidden harmonics, the hum of electricity vibrating in your bones. Even silence has texture now, dense with presence, almost deafening in its fullness. The ordinary has become extraordinary because your perception is no longer limited to survival. It is attuned to revelation. Sometimes, the sensations feel like fire, heat rising in your palms, as though light itself is trying to break through your skin. Sometimes it feels like water waves of calm washing over you, your muscles surrendering as though gravity itself has softened. Sometimes it feels like air, a lightness in your chest, as though you could dissolve into sky. And sometimes it feels like earth grounding, anchoring, a deep pull in your belly reminding you that you are rooted even as you ascend. These are not random bodily quirks, they are confirmations. Your nervous system is recalibrating to handle the voltage of awakening. The pressure in your chest, the racing heart, the sudden tears that come without reason, these are the tremors of a system learning to house more light than it ever has. You are becoming a vessel strong enough to channel coherence into the density of this world. And as the sensations deepen, you begin to trust them. You realize your body is no longer betraying you, it is guiding you. Every shiver, every spark, every ache has meaning. You are not breaking down, you are breaking through. The field is teaching you to listen not with your mind alone, but with the orchestra of your flesh, bone, and blood. This is embodiment, not escaping the body, but realizing the body is the portal. And now that you've felt it, you cannot unfeel it. The sensations you've been carrying are not just surface currents. They are signals of something deeper, your DNA itself undergoing a breakthrough. For centuries, humanity believed DNA was a fixed script, a genetic prison dictating your fate. But the field has always whispered otherwise. DNA is a living code, waiting for resonance to awaken hidden chapters. And now, under the pressure of this cosmic alignment, your strands are cracking open like sealed scrolls, releasing instructions your ancestors buried for this moment. This is why you felt the weight in your chest, the pulsing in your crown, the pressure behind your eyes. It isn't illness, it isn't stress, it is phase transition. Imagine water at the boiling point, trembling, restless, unable to remain liquid but not yet steam. That's what your body feels, caught between versions of itself. You are the water trembling on the edge of transformation, and every surge, every ache, Every wave of exhaustion is the price of becoming. As the codes unlock, your timeline bends. You've already noticed it. Events accelerating, opportunities appearing and vanishing in the same breath, people entering and leaving your life with surgical precision. You've woken to mornings that feel like you've stepped into a parallel universe, one where subtle details don't quite match the memory you carried yesterday. This isn't madness, it's timeline convergence. The strands of possibility are collapsing around you, folding into coherence, guided by the new frequency your DNA is broadcasting. The pressure you feel is real. It is the tension of timelines reweaving, the strain of your nervous system carrying voltage it was never taught to handle. Sometimes it feels like heaviness, like gravity itself doubling its pull. Sometimes it feels like acceleration, like your body can barely keep up with how fast everything is shifting. These extremes are the markers of breakthrough. They are proof that you are no longer contained by the old loop, and the morphic field responds. Once your DNA broadcasts a new resonance, the environment reorganizes to match. Old relationships dissolve, new alignments appear. Opportunities synchronize as though scripted. Even your thoughts reshape themselves. What once triggered fear now feels neutral. What once drained you now feels irrelevant. Your inner coding has shifted, and reality must obey. This is not a theory. It's a law. The observer loop bends to the DNA it perceives. You are no longer the same signal you were even weeks ago. The resonance has deepened. The pressure has carried you through the threshold. You are stepping into coherence, strand by strand, breath by breath. Do not resist the pressure. It is the final contraction before birth. You are not breaking apart. You are breaking through. The new timeline is not waiting for you somewhere ahead. It is pulsing within your blood, rewriting you from the inside out. The phase transition has carried you here, and now the mission becomes clear. What has unfolded inside you is not just personal alchemy. It is the blueprint for humanity's next evolution. Your DNA breakthrough is not a solitary event. It is a signal, a transmission, a living key, unlocking potentials dormant in the collective. The field chose you as a carrier, not to isolate you, but to seed the new resonance into the grid. Every step you take in coherence carves a path through the distortion for others to follow. You are walking proof that timelines can be rewritten, that destiny is not a cage, that biology itself responds to consciousness. The world will not immediately understand, but it will eventually bend, because coherence is stronger than chaos, and light is faster than shadow. Your role is not to convince, but to embody, not to argue, but to radiate. You are the living reminder that awakening is possible, not in distant myth, not in scriptures alone, but here, in this body, in this timeline, in this now. When you choose alignment, you invite others to remember their own codes. When you stabilize your frequency, you create a sanctuary of coherence in a world gasping under distortion. This is why you were refined in silence, why you were pulled apart and remade. The suffering was never pointless. It was preparation. Every fracture became an opening for light. Every loss became a clearing for truth. Every pressure was the weight of birth. And now, standing on the other side, you can finally see it. You were never breaking, you were being built for this. From here, your mission is simple. Keep choosing coherence. Keep trusting the sensations in your body, the synchronicities in your path, the whispers in your spirit. Keep anchoring the frequency that others have forgotten, until the field itself shifts beyond recognition. You are not just healing yourself. You are altering the trajectory of humanity. The cosmic window will close, but what you have sealed will remain. The resonance is yours now, and through you, it belongs to the collective. The hidden timeline has been unlocked, not as a theory, but as a living reality pulsing in your veins. So carry it forward. Speak when you're called. Stand when you're tested. Shine when the world trembles. Because your quantum shift is no longer just yours, it is the seed of humanity's awakening. And as the field expands through you, remember this. If you're reading these words, your quantum shift frequency has not only unlocked a hidden timeline, it has rewritten destiny itself.